Okay, that's a lie. When you first met each other, you fucking thought she was dumb as shit. I remember that beginning of the game. That was when you were a good character. Don't lie to me. Is that it?
That's it?
Alright, final thoughts. This game sucked.
Oh my god.
So you sort of had your final thoughts during the dungeon, even during the second to final boss. Oh, is this an animated cutscene of him running away from his problems because he's a dumbass?
I'm done. I can't.
What? Was I right?
I can't.
Oh, it's an oh, so you know how we had the audio for this super low the entire game?
Yeah.
So I can barely hear this ending song.
Oh no, you can't hear the best song in the game? You can't hear the song that still puts tears in my eyes just from listening to it?
Yeah, I can barely fucking hear it. Yeah,
That's
he's like, oh, I
actually
fell
sad.
over you the moment I saw you. Look at those fucking eyes. Those are the eyes of someone who doesn't give a shit at what he's looking at. That motherfucker lied to us. Anyways, opinions on this game.
I don't want to
As
hear
much as
it.
I give shit for it, I actually like the game. But it's okay to like bad games. Like, I like Sonic 06. So it's okay if you like bad games. That's fine. Is it a terrible game? No. Do I think it's better than Sonic 06? Yes, because it's a game. I told Caleb this, but I gave this game a 2 out of 5, and I even said it earlier, but when I say that, I mean it is the most 2 out of 5 game ever. It is just slightly below average. A lot of the problems I have with it have come to the fact that maybe it hasn't aged well, because this is 2004 and it's 2019, dude.
Well, I just want to also remind you that while this game originally came out in 2004 in Japan, it got its first release in America in 2011.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
And
Anyways,
instead of being smart, they didn't use the Vita version they had.
Oh no. So anyways, let me explain what my problem with this game is. So, number one thing is party members. I don't mind having different party members for each chapter. I think that's cool. But when in chapter 1 you're like, here's 4 party members, and then we go through all of chapter 2 with only 3 party members, and then you have all of chapter 3, which is completely horrendous how they deal with party members. Where, the game is
Half the time you only have 2, and then sometimes you have 3, and then sometimes you have 4, and then you immediately taken away.
Yes.
And then, hey, given back to you 1, and then they're taken away, and then you only have 2. And then you're suddenly fighting a boss, but you don't have the 4 people you had just randomly for no bosses, and...
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's just they give you party members, but not for that much time, 420.
And not for the times you should have.
It's just... So anyways, that's my biggest problem. It's I think it would have been fine. Is this important, or is this just the opening?
This is the... I guess trailer for the next game.
Okay, then. Anyways,
so they did kind of I don't want to say a Kingdom Hearts thing, but kind of a Kingdom Hearts thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You completed critical mode. Here's the secret cutscene. Anyways.
Except for it's not really a secret cutscene.
I know. I'm just saying.
Of the game.
In comparison to Kingdom Hearts. So anyways. So basically, the party members. I don't mind that idea of having unique party members to each chapter. I think that makes each chapter more interesting and unique. But the fact that we have 4 party members from chapter 1, and then each subsequent chapter is just worse. Because of it, it's sometimes you have 3, sometimes you don't have 3, sometimes you have 4, and then sometimes we don't give you 4. And it just makes it very annoying and tedious. And very upsetting. I would have vastly preferred if they worked up the ladder, where chapter 1 we only have 2 party members, chapter 3 we have 3. Or chapter 1 we have 2, chapter 2 we get 3 party members, and chapter 3 we have 4, and then the final chapter we get to all of them. Right, like a general progression line where each chapter has their own unique set of party members. But constantly losing party members and never having that full party is annoying as hell, and makes just fighting any general fights at all just a chore and feels bad and upsetting. The other thing I hate is the quests. I think it's a really fucking cool and neat idea that they did the idea of timed quests. That's so fucking realistic and I like it, but sometimes realism is bad for gameplay design. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2. It's great, but like having to watch the main character do a 20-second animation to loot a single corpse when you kill hundreds of corpses throughout the game is not good game design. And also in Red Dead Redemption 2, you kill a rabbit, you kill a second rabbit, you kill a third, oh, you don't have enough room. It's like, fuck you, rabbits are like, there's a million of them everywhere. So you're telling me I can only carry 2 rabbits, dead ones, at a time? Like, it's realistic, but it also leads to bad gameplay design because of it. And that's what the timed quests in this game are like. It's like, it's great realism, but like, does it not just fucking upset me because of it? If I could do like timed quests, what I would do is I would have it so that like, there are 3 different types: short, medium, and long. Short, you can do in the the quests are either available at the immediate beginning of a chapter or at the halfway point of a chapter. In short quests, you can either short quests would be half of a chapter. So, at the beginning of like chapter 1, you would have a short quest available to you, and it will be unavailable to you during the middle point of the like chapter. So you can only do a short quest within that front half of the chapter. You might get another short quest in the second half of that chapter. But that's the idea, is a short-term quest is available for half of the chapter. Rather than just you finding out, when can I do this quest? When is it available? I don't fucking know. I would have medium-term quests, which is available during the entire chapter. So like, the beginning of the chapter, you can do, so each chapter, like say chapter 1, you can do 1 medium-term quest. And I'm like, that'd be fine. And then a long-term quest would be a chapter and a half. So you can start a quest at the beginning of chapter 1, and then you can finish it halfway through chapter 2. Or you can start a quest halfway through chapter 2, and then it ends availability at the end of chapter 3. Instead of just randomly assigning how long a quest is available with short, medium, and long without it giving us a clear definition of what do those mean? How short is short? How long is long? How medium is medium? We don't
Also,
know.
without those actually having value, because even the long quest can be like only like 2 or 3 scenes long.
Yeah, like it doesn't explain how long each timed quest is. It just gives you a value and you're like, short, I have to do immediately. Medium, I don't know, but I guess I have to do it immediately. Long, I don't know, because I guess I still have to do it immediately. I wish there was also like a mechanism in-game that would also tell us when a new quest is available, because they don't do what I just said. So maybe, I don't know, have the guilds have a carrier pigeon that will inform people we have new quests available for you. Or maybe a thing that will do a notification pop-up that's like, there's quests available in the Bracers Guild. Check them out. Something to alert to us, hey, you can do these quests.
Or have something that makes it even more obvious when a certain story event has taken place that will change.
Like when or not, whether or not you can do a quest, yeah. But that's
like for instance, at the time, let's just take the tournament arc for example.
Yes.
They did by days. You had what, 2 or 3 days in the tournament arc?
Yeah.
That would make it fairly obvious that the first day you have quests available.
Mm-hmm.
Second day, you could probably assume the quests you had for the first day might be expired.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the second day, and theoretically you could get another set of quests.
Yeah. I just wish they would have more precise and obvious time constraints on when you can do a quest, when quests are available to you, and when quests expire, rather than just telling you, you'll just find out when you find out you didn't do it. Which is stupid. So, it's a really cool idea. I like the idea of timed quests, but just terribly executed. The party members I already talked about. Combat.
What about those hidden quests?
Hidden quests, I think, are fine, but I feel like maybe, I know I didn't do it, but maybe if you talked to certain NPCs, they'll be like hint hint nudge nudge wink wink to certain hidden quests, rather than I don't think anyone actually telling us of them. They might have,
No,
but
no, the hidden quests you do, at least in this game, a lot of or you talk to an NPC or you go to a certain location at a certain time, and all of a sudden there's a quest. Like I can name one in
Oh.
particular. There's a hidden quest in chapter 1
yes,
in which you go to one of the towers,
yeah, I think we did that.
and you could go to the tower at any chapter, basically.
Yes.
However, the hidden quest only happens between one conversation and then going across the street and talking.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I had.
And you have to know when the first conversation happens that you have to go to the tower to start the quest, and there is no indications. Like not even if you
Yeah.
go to the tower beforehand, that you'll know. Hey, there's a character here that may give me a quest later. Like maybe he's like going, I'd have no money for getting help getting through the tower or something like that. That would be like give you like an eyebrows that say, hey, maybe I should come back later for this guy. There might be a quest involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no indication whatsoever. It's literally, I don't even like without a guide, I would never know that quest existed. Ever. Because me, I explore everything as soon as it's available.
And then you don't go back to it.
And then I never go back to it, because why would I ever go back to it unless there's like some chest I can't get to because platforming things I don't have, but that's a different set of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyways, that's more of a time constraint thing still too, but hidden quests I think aren't a bad idea, but I wish they would be like someone might tell you about them, or there's a character who could tell you, be like, during this time or this place, but whatever. Hidden quests are kind of stupid, but maybe they
Or
could fix
better
them.
yet, you go to the guild and there's like
A book.
or like in the guild itself, there's maybe not a posting, but like
rumors or something, like a character who spreads rumors.
or like a blank like when you're getting your list of quests,
Yeah.
there's like you have named quests, and then you just have these like two like spots that are obviously like for quests but aren't actually.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I know what you mean, but like, besides the hidden quests, because that's something we didn't really counter, so I don't really have much to say on it. But combat, I think combat's great. I actually like the idea behind it, but I feel like I was never challenged. Sort of because we kind of grinded, accidentally over-leveled for the final dungeon. But at the same time, like, I've been spamming the attack button, and maybe a spell or two when something resisted a normal attacks. But like, I never really had to engage in the actual combat of the game and learn how to actually actively play it. I don't know if that's a difficulty thing or because it didn't really expand on it. I don't really... They might have explained it at the beginning because you said you don't need to pay attention to this because I'll just tell you how to do it. And so I kind of explored the tutorial on how fucking the orbs and skills work. Money being only obtained from selling the gems or completing quests is stupid. I'd like to be able to, like, kill stuff and earn money, which I guess you sort of do with the gems, but gems are also used for, the orbs, which is how you basically learn new skills, which is kind of bad in my opinion. Having to wait until, like, the ending of Chapter 3, almost, to get a area of effect heal is pretty bad, because I just didn't know that you needed better orbs, or like, oh, like, no, you have the correct orbs, you just don't have enough points to get that skill. It's kind of stupid.
Well, to be fair, that was you not knowing.
That was a me effort,
System.
but I kind of don't
because
like how items
as
are
early-
tied to skills. Now look at
As
this
early
game.
as the prologue, you could have it with tier.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
True. It's not that hard, I just didn't know anything. But I'm just saying, I would have vastly preferred just actual skills in-game not being tied to equipable items. It gives you more freedom, obviously, which is nice. But I'd rather just have character be like, this character's a healer and will learn healer skills.
I'm
I'd
gonna have
rather
to
just
disagree
orcs
with
be
you
things
here.
like this character does more physical damage, or this character gets more. I don't like the idea of your skills that you can use in battle are tied to that.
I'm gonna disagree with you here, but that's because I've actually played all the games. The system it has is a lot more put in.
Yeah.
And when you actually put in the time to learn it and actually utilize it, you
Also, that was the first time we ever saw the opening.
no, you saw it when it first appeared in
Well,
blog.
I guess that was way too long ago.
But it's a bit of freedom that you really don't have freedom because the characters who are physical based typically don't have the ability to get high level spells.
Yeah.
And that kind of shows you, hey, they're physical. Don't even
yeah. Oh no, I guess I just don't like that this system of equipment, at least. Of that's how you get skills. On that characters, as much as I shit on all of them that aren't Olivia and Sheriff, I actually like them all. Still being stupid, dumb bitch is great. It's pretty funny and entertaining, actually. As much as I said I hate how Joshua became a bad character, I actually do like the calm and collected Joshua, where he's just like, no, I'm smart and not an idiot. I like that character type, because it's like, no, I'm just a normal guy who's just slightly more observant than others.
And it makes a nice contrast to dumb Estelle.
Yeah, it makes a nice contrast to Estelle, where she doesn't ever pay attention to anything. And Joshua's like, I saw what you just did there. I see what's happening. This makes sense. It's a very good, like, character. I do say he became a bad character because it would have been more interesting having super edgy Joshua along through the entire ride of this game. Because that would have been fucking cool, but, you know, that didn't happen. But I'm okay and think his character is great as what he does act and what he does bring to the table, I guess. Sherazard's hot. I don't need to really talk about why I like her, because that's obvious. Olivia being just big jester fool energy is great. He's just, haha lol, I'm gonna drink a shit ton of wine. Chloe's probably the weakest out of all of them, in my opinion.
I'd probably actually agree with that. She's probably the absolute entire game.
A gate.
And that goes for probably all things too.
There's nothing wrong with Chloe. I don't think she's a bad character. I just don't think she's as interesting or entertaining as the others. The coolest thing about her is the bird, and that's not even hers.
Yeah, she kind of fits basic princess.
Doesn't even feel like basic princess, just like, I'm a character that exists in the JRPG. I'm not the most interesting, but I'm not the uninteresting one. But she sorta is, because everyone else is slightly better. You're just average, and that's good, considering everyone's slightly better than average. Like, if there was a bad character, she would be better than them, but there are none, so she's the worst because of it.
Yeah.
After that, let's talk about Tita. Fucking, I feel like that was the chapter where I didn't pay attention that much. So, to me, all it is little girl is smart, and that's it. And I'm like, that's fine. She likes her grandpa, and she wants to help, and I'm like, that's fine. You probably get expanded upon more in the other games, because that's all I currently know about you.
Pretty fair.
Yeah, that's how she seemed to act so far. Is like, I'm a smart young girl, and I like my grandpa, and I want to help, but I'm too young and stupid. Well, not stupid. Too young and incapable to do anything yet.
Basically.
Okay, cool. Maybe in a future game. A Gate, pretty raw. The asshole character's pretty nice. He's basically what I kind of wanted Joshua to be, slightly, except Joshua would probably be more edgy than that. But he's pretty edgy and entertaining. Despite him being an asshole, like, I like the idea of him getting in the way of a bullet that would have shot Tita, because he's like, I'm a good guy, but I'm just an asshole about it. And I'm like, nah, I can stand that. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's awesome. Jin, just big guy who's like, yeah, I'm powerful, fuck you guys, I'm awesome. And that's it. And I'm like, that's neat. I like that. I like you just being an extremely powerful guy who just showed up out of nowhere to be like, yeah, your dad told me to. Lol, I like drinking. I'm like, that's fine. You're a good character. And then that's it. I like them all, but as much as I shat on them, it's fine. They're all fine, good characters, well written. I don't think there's a problem with any of them, as much as I like shitting on Joshua for the meme. Probably still will because it's funny to me. What else would be there? Chapters. Fucking 4 chapters for a game seems stupid.
Well, 4 chapters in a prologue.
Prologue doesn't count. It was 10 hours worth of nothingness. It was 10 hours worth of nothingness. It was 10 hours. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Prologue. Chapter 1. 12 hours worth of nothing. Fuck you, game. But basically, yeah, that, Cassius Bright I felt like is way too important for how much we don't actually get to see of him. That's basically it. They could have made it so that Cassius Bright I feel like is the weakest thing that isn't a main character.
What are you talking about? Why would it be the weak? He's just not in the game.
He's so important, despite never doing anything on screen.
He's like, okay, I don't know if I should actually label it, but he's like, they betray him as God.
They keep portraying him as this, yeah, that's almost it.
Because everyone worships this guy, and
Yeah.
yet he's never on screen to actually do anything, except for at one time in the prologue, and one time literally after the final boss.
Yeah, like, even during the prologue, he's just like, haha, I'm a bracer, kids go do a thing, and he's like, okay, bye. And then it's like, they play him up to be like some fucking powerful being and God and perfect. And I like how Cassius is like, dude, I'm not. At the end of the fucking, when he's talking to Richard or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm not some guy you should be putting up on a pedestal, you dumbass. I thought you were strong enough to do shit without me, that's why I left. Also because my wife died, it's my fault. Oh, hoo, emotions. Anyways, like, he felt way too important. Like, he could have been a no-name nobody, and the story would have still worked.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like they kept placing him on such a high pedestal of strong, powerful, smart, capable, knows everyone, yet, like, for some odd reason, he never does anything. Like, you would think, oh, he's gonna be important. He's gonna be super important. And then, like, the end of the fucking game happens and nothing really goes on with him at all. The plot twist... no, let's talk about the main villain. Kind of weird how he only showed up at only at chapter 3. They should have introduced him earlier. Well, let's talk about the problem I have with the other part, is the chapter thing, is the villains. Let's talk about the villains as a whole. Chapters prologue of 1, 2, and basically... No, not 3, I guess, because 3 is when it starts to get good. But basically those, which is like the... basically a majority of the game, which is prologue 1 and 2. Those chapters suck. The villain of the week thing of... Hey, we're bandits. And then we're like, okay,
hey,
oh no, they got
again.
away. What are we gonna do? We're gonna chase them. Oh shit, we win. Bye. Haha,
Hey,
lol.
look, it's the bandits again.
It's a different set of bandits this time.
No, same set.
Really? For chapter 2?
No.
No, yeah, chapter 1,
Prologue
they get-
in chapter 1.
Yeah, in the prologue, they're like, haha, lol, we're gonna get away. And we're like, okay, I guess we'll chase them. And then chapter 1 is, we chased them and we got them. Oh, okay, I guess we win. Chapter 2, hey, sup,
Evil
I'm a
mayor.
new villain who's gonna lose in this chapter because I burned down an orphanage. Haha, I'm gonna make a getaway on this boat that goes under this bridge, which is only open at select times of the day. Did I forget to mention that I should also mention that this bridge only opens on select times of the day? And I'm like, thank you for telling
Twice a
me
day.
that. That should be important in future games. And he's like, yes, it will be.
Twice a day.
Anyways, the most important part of that chapter, obviously. And I'm like, that's okay. And then we defeat him by chasing him on a boat scene. That happens to go under a bridge that's only open at select times of the day, Caleb. I hope you
Twice
know
a
that.
day.
So other than that, that happened. I feel like those chapters had really weak and pathetic villains. During chapter 3, when we see the blue bandits again, I'm like, that's cool, maybe they're gonna do something. And then they don't. So that happens. So I just feel like this is disappointing. So, the villains of those chapters are so inconsequential and boring and pathetic that they're like, yup, we're not really main characters. Or do anything. I don't even... The only reason I recognize the blue people is because I'm like, that's the girl from the beginning of the game. And then I don't even know who the fuck it was in chapter 2 who was the villain, because he's that forgettable. At least the people who show up in prologue in chapter 1 are reoccurring characters. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I can recognize them. But like, the guy in chapter 2, I'm like, I don't even know who he is. I don't even know what his goal was. He burned down an orphanage and pissed on a dog. Who cares? So, like, the villains for every... And even then, like, in chapter fucking 4, when the blue people show up again, I'm like, oh man, maybe we can finally fight you again. That'd be cool. And then the game did the bad storytelling thing. Of, here's a random character who's apparently important, who doesn't look important. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're fighting you instead of the people we actually know about. Why did you bring these people in then? They were literally here for no fucking reason if we don't fight them. I'm like, okay, whatever. Just show them again so to remind us that they're alive, I guess. Who cares?
And that they're still weak as hell.
Yeah. Strong enough to be in the tournament, but weak to still lose. Anyways, so that happens, which is stupid. So that felt boring. Kinda upset that the main villain doesn't really show up until the ending of chapter 3. Richard and Hot Chick again.
So...
I know you said that they show up in the prologue or chapter 1 or whatever.
Actually,
I don't count that because I don't remember.
Only Richard shows up there.
Doesn't matter.
And it is literally for, I think, a 5-minute conversation.
And don't worry, it doesn't matter. You wanna know why? Because right then we have... They have no reason to have him there. They could have had literally any other character show up. And there would have been no change to the story. The only thing that has changed in the story because we met him in chapter 1 was when we met him a second time, we're like, you know, we met each other. And he's like, yes, I remember you guys back in chapter 1 or whatever. Yeah, we met for like 5 minutes. That's amazing you remember that. He's like, of course I would remember that. And then that's it. That's the entire conversation. So there was literally no point for him showing up earlier in the series, despite to instead just be like, yep, there's the final boss, ha 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 ha, there's the main villain. So anyways, main villain is stupid. I don't like his fucking motivations. Just, if we have enough power and strength, no one will want to go to war with us again. And that's it, is stupid. I like the idea that he was being led around by whatever Joshua was pointing out to him. I think that was a cool bit. But, whatever, I don't think that's interesting. Like, as a villain, he's boring. The hot girl is boring. I don't like how they try to justify him being a misguided villain, because that sort of comes out, like, immediately out of left field at the end of the fucking... Literally, we defeat him, he's like, nah, it's just... We were like, hey dude, how's it going? We're gonna have to fight you. And he's like, let me tell you why I'm doing this. It's like, oh, you're just a misguided villain. You're not really evil. And I'm like, that's such a cop-out. That villain was... random robot is random and kind of pointless.
It's completely pointless. The random robot shouldn't have been the final boss.
Yeah.
That's...
When the final boss was just a dude, I was like, this is kind of cool. And then it's like, what if we just randomly introduced a new entity that's just a mech? Because that's cool, right?
They kind of do the same thing in Cold Steel.
Oh my god, you just spoiled all of Cold Steel again. Oh. But anyways,
No, I'm just
I know.
saying the disappointing boss thing they kind of do in Cold Steel.
They do it a lot. Okay, thanks for telling me. That makes everything better.
Actually, it's only in Cold Steel in the first Trails game. Like,
Is
it's
someone
only those
piloting
two.
the mech?
In Cold Steel, yes.
Okay, that's much better. That's so much better. At least that's a character.
But the bad thing is they add like a whole new like battle mechanic.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll
Right
get to
then
that.
and there,
We'll get
it's
to that
dumb.
hellhole when we get to that hellhole. But I will say this: I enjoyed the ideas behind the game. The time quests, the unique characters for each chapter. The characters were actually cool and different enough that none of them felt too samey. Each one played differently. I like that. The overall plot needs to be better than just we're going to give you the entire plot in the last quarter of the game. That's what happened. The plot
What are you talking about?
It's halfway through chapter 3, time to tell you what's happening with the plot. Woo! I'd rather have the plot gradually told throughout the entire story, or at least make it seem that chapters prologue 1 and 2 were important. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah,
have or something like that, because, man, it felt like Prologue 1 and 2 were kind of pathetic. And then halfway through 3 was also pathetic, but then the second half of 3 was like, ah, shit's going down. Let's get real. I'm like, this is interesting. So plot needs to be... I think even KZ said this on Twitter, where he said he dislikes the villain of the week kind of fucking content. I don't know if it was in regards to the Legends of the Hero, but he says that lots of games do that, and it's bad, and I'm like, it's kind of bad here, too.
Yeah.
Game could be
Yeah.
much better if it didn't do that. Graphic-wise, PSP, so I can't really comment on whether it's good or bad. It's what you get. The love between Estelle and Joshua kind of felt forced during Chapter 3 and 4. Where everyone kept nudge, hint, winking at them for it, but it never felt like either of them had feelings for each other. And then I think Chapter 3 and 4, they're like, oh, how do we rush a romance?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to comment on that one.
No.
So I think a lot of that had to do with you not talking a lot of NPCs.
Really? Is that it?
And doing some side quests, because there's a lot of little...
Nudge, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, a lot of it. Like,
okay.
throughout the entire game,
Remember, we
it
tried
starts
to
in
do
the...
all the side quests, and then the game said, what if we were designed badly by some maniacal monkey?
Another thing this game does that I think is bad
Yeah.
is a lot of the little things you miss
Because of the
and
side
don't
quests.
really care about unless you've played
Future games.
future games.
Where you, like, someone says something important, and you're like, I don't know who the name of this character. And then in 3 games, that character's a main character. And so when you come back to this one, you're like, that's fucking Kino.
Yeah, it's...
But, like, in this game,
It's kind of like the reverse Kino. Like,
oh no! But, like, when you go and play this game, they're like, I hope George Lopez isn't evil. And I'm like, who the fuck's George Lopez? And then in fucking Cold Steel, I finally found out George Lopez is the fucking main character. And I'm like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. But, like, when this, as a standalone game, as the first entry in the entire fucking series, correct? First
yes.
entry, yeah. It sucks. Don't just name drop random characters that we don't know anything about. Sure, it leads to some cool shit later down the line, but as this game, as a standalone thing, it's like, I don't know who that is. Do we know who this is? Is this a random NPC that we didn't meet? Is this a side quest that I missed?
Or even worse, the
Did I
feeling
not read the lore? Did I
Even
not
worse
read the
is when you get
newspaper?
the
What did I
feeling
not do?
that someone says a name and you're like, should I know who this character is? I'm in chapter 3. Is it someone I've met before? Is it someone just now mentioned? Is it
yeah, like it's
is it
cool.
someone I haven't done a quest to learn the name of?
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly it. And it's a cool idea, right? Establishing that these characters already existed before their debut, but like in the original game, you're like, fucking who knows?
It doesn't work as much as the first game because
Yeah.
you like even now I could feel like I'm enjoying the game a lot
Because you're like,
The
haha, I see that reference. Ha, I see what you did there. Haha, I too watch Rick and Morty and have a giant IQ. But for me,
And-
I'm like, I don't know anything that's happening. Or like, I don't know what these references, like,
And I even felt that when I played. So I played the first, like I said, I played the first game, stopped at chapter 3, and
Yeah.
then went on to play Cold Steel, then went back to this one. And at that point, I already had so much knowledge.
that you were like able to recognize all these cool stuff that they had planned in advance.
Not even that, it was smaller things, like Olivia. I knew who he was now, like
Yeah.
who he actually was. And
Oh,
it's like,
do I not know that yet?
no. Like, all you know is he's a noble from Arabonia. You don't know which noble.
Yep.
Like,
There's so much crap in this game, and that's probably my biggest other gripe is, like we've been saying, like, oh, there's so much shit that's important for future games, but I'm like, okay, what's important though?
and that's the thing is,
What should I pay attention to? I won't know unless I play the other games, but I don't want to play through every game twice just to find out all the little references and nods. That seems like really
It's
bad.
torture.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
torture.
it's like, you wouldn't really understand it unless you understand the importance of literally talking to everyone every single time something happens.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do the first time you play the game.
And then the game said, bad game design, ooh, timed quests, hidden quests, randomly searching throughout the entire town for 4 NPCs who you don't know where they are.
Yeah.
Remember that in Chapter 4? Because I do.
Yeah, it just happened.
So the other thing is, quests not telling you where to go. That's stupid. Because they'll say it in the dialogue, right? And I'll talk about dialogue last, which is probably going to be next. But quests, notification marker, be like, this is where it is. Have a better map system, because being only able to see your current map, dungeon maps would be great, because a lot of the dungeons look exactly the same in every area. So it gets confusing, being like, am I in the same hallway I was just in? Am I in a new hallway? I don't know. Everything looks the same, because it's all the same missing texture. Thanks, Final Dungeon. But anyways, so just the quest, like, be like, collect these items. Okay, who gives me... I remember we did one of the quests, like, in Chapter 1, where it's like, collect these items, and I'm like, wait, where do we get these items? I don't fucking know, find them. Fuck you, game. Just be like, just have the guy know where you can find them. Be like, kill these enemies, kill a name. Go to this area and defeat these kinds of enemies. Like, you could just say, oh, these items are usually found by enemies off to the west or to the east.
And instead you get stuff like, it rose in a...
No, we get something
Human-
like, find the crooked claw, and I'm like, who the fuck drops a crooked claw? How am I supposed to know that?
Or you get stuff like, this herb only grows in humid area, and you're in an area where everything, like, not humid, and you're
And
like...
you're in the fucking beach town, and you're like, okay, this is stupid, everything's humid here.
Or you're in a place where, like, nothing's humid, and you're like, well, where the fuck am I gonna find a humid place in this area? And you get no descriptions of area.
Yeah, so basically, like, if you're gonna give us quests, be more specific with quest markers and locations on what we can do and what we have to do. Like, I think right Persona 5 did it, and Persona 4 did it, right? Let's go with Persona 4, because that's easier. Like, Funky Student, he's like, get me this item. It will always be in the current dungeon you're looking at. Like, this character's like, get me this item, and then they will give you a fucking very fuzzy description of, this is found in a club. I wonder where that could be. At least they tell you where to look for it. In this game, they kind of don't. And that's annoying.
Like, yeah, if you're gonna give a description, at least give a description.
Like, if you're just gonna say good luck finding it, fuck you. At least give us, like, an idea of where to look, rather than just saying good luck, because that's bullcrap. The other quests, which were just fetch quests, that's just a standard in RPG, so I can't really fault them on that. Besides it existing. Just give us quest markers. If you say, this character wants help finding books, and then she's like, go find the books, and I'm like, where? And she's like, I don't know. But if she's like, oh, they're on the 2nd and 3rd floor of this building, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, if all you get is people's names, and you're like, well,
I don't know the names of people because they don't appear above their heads. But anyways, quests can be just slightly done with quest markers. I think that will just make everything slightly better for the quests. Besides the stuff we already talked about, the time quests. And the last thing is I'd like to talk about dialogue. There's too much of it. Which isn't a bad thing. I think it could be great, but when a lot of it is repetition, is when it starts to become real fucking boring.
Jeez, it's an RPG, they have dialogue.
Wanna know why? Because the only thing I remember from this game is that there is a bridge in a very certain specific town that is only available to be opened up for boats to pass through it at very specific times.
Do you remember the name of the town?
Nope.
Do you remember what times?
Nope.
Do you remember how many times?
I think it's like twice, and it's like something stupid. I just know they talk about it a lot. Because I remember being infuriated every time after the second.
So, not even all the details stuck out to you, and that's...
That's because I started getting mad and infuriated at this entire thing, and I honestly... Dude, look when we started the game. February 4th, 2018. It's been more than a year.
Well, to be fair, you can't really count 6 months of those.
Yeah, true, but still. I'm just saying.
It probably still would have taken just as long, to be honest.
Well, yeah, maybe. But I'm just saying, cut the dialogue. A lot of the boring, monotonous repetition of characters saying, we should go to the south. And then everyone having to say, yes, let's go to the south. Or something stupid as dumb as that, right? I feel like...
Maybe just have a dialogue that says everyone, yes, let's go to the south.
Or you could do the thing that a lot of RPGs do, where you have every character have their own text box, all show up at the exact same time saying, okay.
Or what other games do of just one text box with
everyone.
With the dialogue of everybody saying, okay.
Or maybe fluff text that just says, everyone agrees with this, or the team decides that they should move south and proceed to move south. Like, because if a lot of it is like, character A, we should go to the south. Character B, yes, I think we should go to the south. Character A, alright then, let's go to the south. And character B is like, right behind you, we're going south. And then they go south.
And then
like,
character C going, oh, are we going south? Okay, let's go south.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, my name's Estelle. Did you say north? And then everyone had to tell them, no, we're going south. That's basically it, or at least that's what I get as a feeling, because I feel like a lot of the fluff dialogue is repetition, rather than just new information, new information, new information. Because I do understand that some people repeat stuff when they talk, but in a video game, you don't have to be realistic. You could just be like, everyone understands immediately and continues on with the plot. That doesn't exist until Chapter 3.
Have you talked about the plot yet?
I think we talked about the villains. Plot, bad.
What are you talking about?
Oh, no, we did. We talked about the villain of the week plot, which is mainly the plot.
Fair enough.
And then we also talked about how the Romans were slightly rushed towards the ending, which is only good because quests give you more time to flush that out, but we can't do that because badly designed.
So,
other than that,
anything else?
Think it's a good game. I do like it, even though I say it's a bad game. It can both be good and bad. Everything isn't black and white, people. Come on. There's more than just two colors. That's why the color green exists, you dumbass.
And purple.
And orange.
And orange doesn't.
Right, like, it's okay that you can see things in black and white, but sometimes shit can be bad and so good at the same time. Like chocolate. It tastes great, but it's gonna kill you if you eat 100 of them. It's called diabetes. Right? So anyways, game good. Not that good, though. A lot of problems. Mainly a lot of irritating problems that kind of grain on you and wear you down. But I think we need to talk about the plot twist. I think that'd be the
Which
last
one?
thing.
What plot twist?
The
There was a
Joshua
plot twist?
bad plot twist.
That was a twist?
It kind of came out of nowhere.
What are you talking about?
I mean, I didn't pay attention enough, so it kind of feels like it came out of nowhere.
What, the plot that Joshua was evil?
No, not that Joshua was evil. I kind of knew that from the get-go.
That he was selling out information?
I'm talking about Glasses guy. I don't know his name.
Wiseman?
I thought it was Albatross.
Professor Alba?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I feel like I should remember that. That's the main character of Senyu.
His new name is also Wiseman. Depending on how you...
It looked like a German word.
Yeah,
Or
probably Wiseman.
Weissman.
But I just like to call him Wiseman because that sounds...
Haha, the
like the
three
kinda
wise
dumb
men.
shit.
I get it. Christianity. Anyway, so basically, just that sort of feels like out of nowhere.
That he's evil? That
He's evil.
So,
The idea
yes, it's
that
out of
the explanation
nowhere.
Joshua gave didn't feel like right.
You mean it didn't feel
Good.
correct? Or
It felt like it was like Joshua was like, haha, he's like, Joshua's like, ever since I met you, I felt uncomfortable, and I'm like, I wish I had access to your thoughts then, because those would be so much more interesting than Estelle's like, I don't know what's happening, thoughts, right?
So,
But like,
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know if Joshua showed clear disgust when they first ran into him in his portrait, but they could have. I don't really pay attention to the portraits that much.
If I remember correctly, he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't say anything, which is why it comes
It's
out
the
of
first-
nowhere.
The first time they meet,
Was oh,
Professor Alba is at the top of the tower in
he
Prologue,
said he was stuck
and he's
there.
hiding behind a column.
Yeah, because he's no.
And Joshua's the first one who notices him and tells him to get out of the column. And he
Yeah.
says it kind of like there's an enemy behind the column.
Did he? I don't know. It just felt like
You know, the typical, like, get out or I'll shoot kind of thing. You know what I
Fucking-
mean?
quit hiding, you Langren Bullock kind of thing.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
kind of like,
Like commanding
really-
tone.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh no, I don't
But-
remember that part of the game. No, I kind of remember
Again.
him being on top of the tower and us being like, oh man, you're hiding up here because you're weak sauce.
And that's kind of the impression that Professor Alba gives out. But I guess, yeah.
Sort of feels out of nowhere because he
It
really-
does feel out of nowhere. It definitely feels out
It
of nowhere.
does, especially because he like helps us, but I guess he's faking it. But like,
It's also one of those when you've played the game a second time,
you'll notice it.
and you
It's like the
You
whole
notice-
like idea of playing
you-
Persona 4 a second time, knowing who the murderer is, and being
And
like,
it's-
"Oh man, you're actually more capable than I thought you were."
well, and I kind of tried to hit it home a bit playing, or when you were playing. Like every single time he appeared, I'm like, oh, it's this guy again. That's kind of weird. Well, he's at this tower again.
I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. We first met him at a tower. Why would he not be at the next one?
And every time he's complaining about how he has no one to protect him and stuff, and yet somehow he's already halfway up the tower, all the way up the tower.
I mean, I've been able to go through those towers without finding anything.
Or when you just randomly meet him not at a tower, like, oh, it's this guy again.
Yeah, when we're at the border, and he's like, they're with me because I don't want them to get arrested.
But it was just randomly, just there right when you need someone to help you through, and
Yes, that's also possible because this game's badly written and there's been a million coincidences throughout the entire game. Are you telling me everything has been
Exactly.
foretold since the beginning, that everything didn't matter? Because it
I
was
don't
all
think
according to someone's stupid plan?
I don't know. It's just one of the like when you've played the game before and you go back and watch all these scenes again, you're like, does he plan everything out? Is everything a part of his plan?
I don't
Is
fucking
it?
care.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's not because it's still too stupid.
Probably.
Yeah, remember when the shit kid steals her badge? I'm pretty sure that wasn't planned. Because that shit kid isn't controllable because he's a shit kid. You can't control shit kids. So anyways, other than that, I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. And I felt like even if we didn't have that, the game would have still ended normally. Like, it didn't... The whole Joshua leaving ending is pretty cool and neat because of it, but like... Didn't really feel much like it did anything for me. It was just, I'm evil now, ha 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 ha. And Joshua's whole reason is, you just happen to be in every place when we were there. But like, you happen to be in the same place when the bandits had their memory changed. You happen to be in the same place when the other guy's memories were changed. And then we've never seen you in the same place as the Richard guy whose memories were changed. I don't think we did. So it's
No.
like, yeah, so Joshua's like, I'm basing this off of incomplete evidence.
Which is true. That bit did make
It's like,
0 sense. Like,
sure, Joshua was also there at the same time, but that also makes Niall and Dorothy suspect. Oh no, Dorothy's the villain! Ah! Scream with me. Right, like, you can't just arbitrarily say that, because that's stupid. The gate has been up, like, in too many places at once as well, I feel like.
Not really.
I feel like enough that it could warrant stupidity of this game. But it's just like, yeah, there were like 3 recurring characters. Niall, Dorothy, and Wiseman.
Alba.
And it's like, yup, sure, okay. And Joshua's like, you just happen to be in those same places too. Therefore, you're evil. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like, that feels sort of like reaching a little bit. It does make it feel like Joshua is smart, but he's also basing his assumption of, I'm uncomfortable around you. And I'm like, that's a dumb reason.
It is.
So, like, you know, him pointing it out kind of feels like a stretch. The main villain, I guess, Wiseman, not the main villain, being, like, out of nowhere feels, like, pretty cool. Because it's like, haha, they're planning on doing more stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm like, I don't really care about him. And it's like, I guess I have to care about this character who wasn't important. It's like, whatever. Oh no, it just felt kind of like a plot twist that comes out of nowhere just for the sake of having one. Like, this game didn't need to have one. But you know, you gotta end on a cliffhanger so people buy your next game. And that's it. Also, Joshua leaving is stupid.
Why? He has to go kill the person?
It's the anime teenager thing of I have to do this alone, which is kinda stupid and cringe. And by the end of the second game, he's gonna realize that he's gonna need his friend's help, and then they're gonna come back together and they're gonna be happy. And then they'll use the power of friendship to whatever. Welcome to JRPGs, Caleb. That's exactly what's gonna happen. If I'm right, tell me I am. If I'm not, just don't. Damn.
Eh?
Good enough for me. I'm a genius. Game's bad. But, yeah,
I wouldn't say friendship really played a big bit.
I don't care. Love, friendship, whatever. Anime power, whatever you want to call it. But it sort of feels like a cheap reason for him to leave, because he's like, nope, I'm gonna go on my journey to stop him. That's it. That's it, actually. Also, the whole time that, oh man, Joshua's been evil all along, of like he's been mind controlled, but you know, during the 5 years, that's not helpful at all. We didn't see those 5 years. We didn't experience. We were like, oh, this is the day he's introduced, and then 5 years later, he and Estelle are becoming bracers, and that's it, which is stupid.
True.
We didn't see him being a traitor. You know what would have been really cool? If he was being evil throughout the entire story. Like, there would have been times throughout the entire story where he goes off on his own. Or he's by himself. And...
Or instead of, like, capturing a person, he...
kills them.
Or just, like, brutally maims them or something like that, you know what I mean?
Like... Or there's a character who Joshua is left alone with in a room, and one of them is never seen from again. It isn't Joshua.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they could have hinted at it, rather than just randomly been like, yup, he's been mind controlled. Like, they could have totally done the thing where throughout the entire adventure, he would be off alone by himself for a quote-unquote slight, small period of time, where he might be telling information to these villains.
And that would have also
really
been
cool
good.
Is when we find out that plot twist happens, we get a flashback to all those scenes of when he's alone during those times. Where he meets up with them and in his mind-controlled state telling them information. We could have had a small cutscene of that, but no, rather than just show us something, just tell us it happened and be like, honestly, Wiseman could be lying because as players, we did not see any of that fucking happen, so we don't know if that's true or not. Wiseman could just be like pulling a hashtag prank, yo.
And here's always my first theory on it, which is like the only way I could see it happening is all the times you see Wiseman.
Yeah, right?
That's the only time I see any opportunity for Joshua to be giving secrets out.
But he's not, because Joshua and Estelle are always in the same vicinity of
exactly
Wiseman, so...
But that's the only time that I could see him giving any information out.
But then he doesn't. So that's why it kind of comes out of nowhere, because there's never been something that would make us suspicious of that.
And if he did...
No foreshadowing.
Joshua would never, then think Wiseman is suspicious this entire time kind of thing. It would throw that idea completely out.
Yeah. Like, also, maybe we should have been told that Joshua was suspicious of Wiseman rather than just being told at the end of the story. Maybe have Joshua walk up to Estelle and be like, be careful, I don't know, but something's weird about him. Or something that, like, he rubs me the wrong way, Estelle.
Or just every time Alba appears, like, Joshua just either says nothing or just sits there and, like, has, like,
I don't even
that's
think...
there he has.
I don't even think he did that. Mainly because I don't really pay attention that much, but he could have. But I don't fucking know. Story kind of plot twist was cool.
No, he didn't do that. He talked in every scene that Alba was in.
Yeah, like they could have done something with that, but I feel like they didn't. And you're saying they didn't, so therefore they didn't. And I'm
they didn't, and they should have.
Like, the plot twist is cool, but, there's a very good writing technique called foreshadowing that many writers use. Because it makes them feel smarter. It makes people feel smarter if they discover this early on. Like, just putting in a Deus Ex Machina without... or a random plot twist just for the sake of having it. Such as, like, I don't know, I'm your father, Luke Skywalker. Like, without foreshadowing it, it's kind of pathetic. You know?
Are you saying that was never foreshadowed?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think it might have been.
It's foreshadowed in
I'm saying, but what if it wasn't?
What if it wasn't? Then it would be bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm
pretty sure they showed like some sort of strange connection between Luke and Leia early on, including a strange connection between Luke and Darth Vader early on.
And actually, they specifically, it's for the Luke and Darth Vader, and specifically it's with the interactions between Luke and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Because I think they might have, like... but never. That's not what we're going to talk about. I'm just saying... This game didn't do any foreshadowing with the cool plot twist, so... It's stupid.
Like, the only reason that you know that Joshua
was evil was because he was that edgy kid, and I kept bringing it up every episode.
And also the fact that you look at his skills that he gets, like the names, like the actions, and you notice that they're all assassination techniques, or, you know, evil eye. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, let's look at that then.
It's kind of obvious that all the skills he gets are not something a normal 16-year-old would get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's look. So, Estelle gets Morale, Taunt, Hurricane, Comet, Heartbreak, Pummel Barrage, Dual Strike, Flicker, Taunt, Cloak and Dagger, Evil Eye, Sever, Black Fang. Yeah.
I mean, specifically,
he's a 16-year-old, right?
16.
I would probably call this shit the same thing.
Oh, well, and then the actions are, like, Estelle's, you watch hers, and hers are just going up to someone and just hitting them with a stick, right?
Yeah, that's
Whereas,
because Estelle's stupid, though.
If you take Joshua's, Flicker is literally him
doing a cool
moving
dash.
really fast in a straight line, and then disappearing and reappearing where he started.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, but...
Like, and I'm not saying, like, this is stuff that you don't... again, you don't really notice until you play the second time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but even then, I mean, calling it Black Fang, calling it Evil Eye, calling it Sever. I mean, it's pretty kino that they did that, but like, at least with the Black Fang thing, but honestly, guy's a 16-year-old kid. Like,
yeah.
Dude, when I was 16, I was like, that's fucking edgy, I love that. Dude, I
the
love Shadow the Hedgehog.
In the Japanese version, apparently they're 15.
Yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? Like, teenager. Fucking everyone as a teenager is an edgy kid. I still am an edgy kid, despite being 23.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't think it's weird. I mean, look, sadist whip? That's hot. Howling bullet? Yeah, look at this guy. This guy's... Look at it. That's just badass. Are you telling me Olivia's secret fucking nickname from his time as a god in the planes of immortality was his nickname being the Howling Bullet? Because it could totally be true. Right? Like, I'm just saying, it's like, sure, it's cool that they did that, but like, it can't be called it foreshadowing when it's just like, yeah, he's just an edgy kid.
It's not foreshadowing, it's just
It's not, but like, it's smart that they did it, but I'm just saying, Oh, look at this, there's a tactics tab. Oh, wait, what? We could have been playing a Charizard this entire time?
No, because she's not in the game the entire game.
Yeah, but I mean like the entire final dungeon. We could have been Big Tata Woman. Oh, this is so sad. This bitch is still alive, and I don't really care. Anyways, I'm just saying this game has a lot of problems. Really dislike how this menu is. Like, I fucking go into it, and then I have to look at the top, then I press X to go to Orbment, and then I have to choose a character, press X again, and then I have to scroll through everything again.
Well, good thing that never gets resolved.
Oh boy.
I think it gets slightly better in Steel, but
Wow, slightly 50 hours.
by slightly better, I mean you could use like the shoulder buttons to flip through the tabs.
That'd be better, but other problems that I have, enemies being slightly transparent throughout the entire game. Still don't know why.
Still don't know why.
Don't know why. I don't even know if there's an enemy in this room. He could be slightly transparent. That one's like the least transparent we've ever seen. That's amazing. Oh, there he goes. He's gone now. There he is. Look at him. Oh, that's like a field of view thing. Like, the closer we get, the more transparent he becomes. Wow, that's just bad design.
I want to tell most people that that's not going to be an issue because...
Yeah, I think that's just me somehow maybe fucking with the options or something.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's purely my, like, this is
I think
character
that's,
though.
I think that's a personal,
yeah, I
not
think
a...
that's a me problem. Other than that, I think the game's fine. I would like to see this game with all of the problems I've listed fixed. So like, better timed quests, notifications on quests, quest fucking markers, more consistent party members, like having a full party more than just less than half the game. Like,
So, look forward to Cold Steel.
like, maybe fix how the orbment works, because I like, the arts are cool, but I don't like how they're... It's a really weird mixture of it's a good idea, but no, it's kind of weird to do. Items feel
Look
kind of
forward to Cold
pointless
Steel.
until the end of the game.
Look forward to Cold Steel.
Don't like how the only way to get money is basically by doing quests, which are basically inherently broken.
Again, look forward to Cold Steel.
Let's see. Better plot where the plot isn't shoved in your face in the last fucking 2 chapters of the game.
Look forward to the next game.
Yeah, I'd rather the plot be, you know, starting at the beginning or something, rather than just, here you go, you're near the end of the game. We've decided to give you the plot. Thank you. Like, it would make sense if it was, it's just bad. Not much else. Better combat, honestly. Combat was just, not that it played badly, I just felt like the game knew what it wanted to be, but didn't know how to execute that.
It gets improved on.
Yeah, like, I feel like there's a couple of things that I'm bugged with the fucking fighting, but I feel like it's almost not that bad. Cassius Bright, terrible character. If you're gonna make someone so important to the plot, make him show up more than 2 times throughout the entire game. When it's literally the main villain's motivation.
Yeah.
Like, haha, the reason I'm doing evil thing is because Cassius Bright, and it's like, dude, we've never seen that character. Sure, it's important to the main character, because there's a whole scene where Estelle's happy to see her dad and shit, right, when he comes back. But as a player, as me, I was like, who the fuck was that? Remember?
Yeah, you didn't even recognize that it was Cassius.
I was like, who the hell are you? Are you some new character? And then he showed up, and I'm like... It took me like a couple of seconds to be like, Cassius. As in who? And I'm like, oh wait! That's our dad, isn't it? Sorry, my bad, you don't ever show up. That I actually forgot you were a character. I thought you were some sort of mythological being that only existed in fucking plot conversations for unnecessary reasoning. Like, come on, he's so important, yet he barely shows up. Like, Kurt, who gives us the package, was told by Cassius to give us the package, and the package is like the big thing that carries us throughout the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the black orb. And like, he's instructed by Cassius, so that's important. There's the whole thing with Jin being told by Cassius to do a thing. There's the whole thing with a gate knowing Cassius too, I believe. There's the whole prologue in Chapter 1, which is us doing Cassius's work. But like, you know, he's only there for 5 minutes. Oh no, it's just so much shit. About like, Cassius is like, main villain is like, I'm doing this because Cassius left us. And if we get invaded, we'll lose because Cassius isn't with us. And it's like, dude, I don't even know who he looks like anymore. Granted, it's been like a year, but still. It's like you would think someone so fucking important I would be able to recognize immediately. But no.
Or at least as soon as I said Cassie.
Yeah, as soon as you said Cassius, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the main character's dad. I'm sorry, I forgot you were a character. I honestly thought you would be treated like, I don't know. Let's think of something that's a good... like Sothis. No, that doesn't work. No, no.
Have you gotten that ending with Sophis, by the way?
No.
You need to get that in. It's great.
That's just it. It's just... There's so many, like, weird things about it that... I hope the series gets better and fixes all the problems it had, because it totally has the potential to be really cool. Because it has done some cool story things. Not a lot, but sometimes. And that's basically it. And also another important character that I feel like isn't important enough, this asshole. He feels way too important for not really ever accomplishing much within the storyline. I know he created, like, I know he's important for lore, but Also, I feel like this game has way too much lore, rather than just, you know, story. Which makes sense because it's the first in the series and it's going to be important, but my god, do I feel like a lot of everything we learned was never important. Which is probably going to be important in future games, but maybe you can introduce it then. Or maybe, if you want to have it in this game, put it in a fucking book, because I know there's the fucking newspapers we didn't read, and the books we didn't get.
Which, by the way, the books you get are important. Like the Cornelia chapters.
Look at this.
Oh my god. You only got
3.
3? Yeah, wow. We totally gave up on that way early.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, fucking, we got this, and I don't even know what this is. I don't even think it was that important, and I'm pretty sure the fucking queen told us, and I don't need to know that for what we're happening right now. Right, like, they're like, here's the lore around the world, and I'm like, that's cool, but I'm not the kind of person who cares about that unless I get invested in the game first. So don't tell me lore for shit I'm not gonna, like, right?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be engaging as a game, but you're gonna be like, here's some juicy lore about the world and the history of this world, and then I'm like, I don't care enough, I'm gonna be like, well, okay. Honestly, game's okay. I give it a lot of shit, but that's because it's a bit. I actually respect the game and like it a lot, but I might just end up watching KZ play through the game and see if he ever talks about the side quests and see if they're important. Maybe play through the game myself to do the side quests, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Do you know if New Game Plus lets you carry over your level?
It does.
Does it increase the difficulty?
No.
Okay, then I might play it again and try and get all the quests. I might. Don't keep my word for that, because I can guarantee you I'll probably stop caring tomorrow. But anyways, game's fucking just fine, but it could do a lot better. Anything else you want to say, Caleb?
Do give this game a try by yourself. Like,
yeah, don't let my insistent bullshitting of how much I hate it stop you if you're interested.
I'm gonna stick by that. This game is a lot better when you play it by yourself.
I don't think it's because I was with you. I think it's because it was a Let's Play.
I think that's what I mean. I think it got harped on. We have to sit here. Not only do we have to deal with playing the game itself, we have to make it entertaining for other.
Yeah, and that's why the
Right.
bit of me hating the game started, because I'm like, this will be entertaining for me, and maybe other people.
And I think that causes problems.
Yeah. Especially when, you know, your favorite characters are the characters in the first chapter who don't show up until the last chapter, and the other last chapter.
Another thing, this game has a lot of stuff you can do that we can't show in a
Yeah, the side quests.
like side quests. Actually
that we tried to
talking.
do, and then the game... We were even using a guide. We were using a fucking guide.
At one point.
Yeah, and then we missed 5 quests.
Yeah.
And then we were
That's how
like,
bad it is.
when was the last time we saved? And we were like, 2 hours ago. And we were both like, this game isn't worth it.
Yeah, and you do other things like, I don't know, whenever you want to.
I'm excited to see where this series goes, though, because they left off with a really cool cliffhanger, as stupid as it was.
Oh yeah, and when I do say that this game only gets better from here,
He means the series.
yeah,
Because you know what?
the
When you
series.
hit rock bottom, the only way out is up. So, you know.
And I'm gonna tell you, even if you call the game a 5 out of 5, like let's just say you 5 out of 5,
Which is fucking insane.
as it is, it still gets better.
Yeah. Man. And if it doesn't get better, ooh boy, those are gonna be very interesting videos.
Like, I can tell you right now, go play Cold Steel right now, and you'll find it immensely different.
Play Trails in the what?
Trails of Cold Steel.
No.
Like, it's such a different same game.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the end of this Let's Play. Kind of a really long episode. This might be like a bonus episode. Where I
You know,
complain. And tell
for an hour and
everyone
a
that I
half.
don't hate the game.
For an hour and a half.
Yeah. But anyways, the fucking game's fine. Play, it's pretty fun. Assuming you dismiss all the negatives that I have about it.
Support the
Which we
creators
just
so we
spent
can get
an hour and a half talking about.
support the creators so that we can get all the games translated, because it's been
Yes.
What? 3 years since Cold Steel 3 came out, and we're finally getting to translate in
Yeah.
October.
So buy the game, support them, so we can get more of these good games. You couldn't see me air quote, but I air quoted there.
Be like me and buy each of the games like 3 times on different systems.
Yeah,
Um,
buy.
Sure, why not? They're cheap, they're worth it.
I mean, after all, are you just gonna let Olivier and Charizard's story end this way? I can't. Who's it, Stella Joshua?
Ah,
All I know is
Supposedly they were
Olivier
the main
and
character.
Charizard, the best characters.
I can't argue with this.
Uh-huh, because I've never said anything wrong during this entire Let's Play.
That's not true, but
Oh, I can continue. But anyways, yeah, this game is fun. Charizard has the big boobies. Olivier has the big gay. Joshua has the big edgy. Estelle has the big dumb. This has the big beef. This has the This is the big edge again. Big lolly. And dead.
you missed one.
Who?
The old man.
So he's not that important.
You missed another one.
Cassius Bright doesn't count.
The healing pool.
Remember how this only showed up in 2 dungeons throughout the entire game? I do.
Actually, 4.
Nope, no. It showed up during that tutorial dungeon, I remember that now that I think about it. And then it showed up in this dungeon, and that's it.
It was also in the dungeon where you meet Tita.
Oh, no, not that, the dungeon with Tita and Shin, where we had to go fight the Giant Fish King.
Mm-hmm. And
Anyways.
there's a second one in the bug, in the mines.
Anyways, yeah, can't wait to see if the story gets better. And when it doesn't, I can guarantee you, my opinion will not change then. This game, I'm suggesting that you get better. I've been told you get better. There is no way that you can have such a long-running series and not get better. So don't disappoint me.
There's actually a good point. Like, there's
Right? Like, there has to be something that's
There's
beyond
9
this game. This game could not have just been successful based on that plot twist alone. Because that's not enough.
There's 9 mainline games.
Yeah, like,
Plus
there's
a
9 of them.
crossover.
It has to get better. Right? Like, there's
And
no
they're
way
still
they could just
making-
leave it at this, like, terrible level.
Like, that information alone. Plus, they remade all of the games on the PSP. Twice.
Anyways, that's it. Let's play. Tune in for our next Let's Play. Summer Night Swordcraft story. I'm Sergeant Foco. And this is Kulub.
Yeah.
Until whenever.
Probably not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, no. Man, this is a really
In
bad game.
fact, the next come out for 2 years.
Nice. No, I can't believe this is a really bad game.
Yeah.